Hey guys,
Hello,
I'm Jamie,
and I'm David.
and we're here to talk about board games.
Yep, specifically a 10 by 10 board game challenge.
Now, David, the people might be wondering, what is a 10 by 10 board game challenge?
So it's kind of what it sounds like. It is a year-long gaming challenge where we pick 10 games, and we're going to make sure we play them at least 10 times. So it's going to be 100 plays each. We have this nice little board here.
100 plays, not like 100 plays for each of us.
Oh yeah, sorry, 100 plays total, not each. So it's going to be 100 plays of the games. And we have this nice little board here to track it. So we figured we would set it up here with y'all and explain what the games are and why we picked them.
Yeah, so let's get started.
Yeah, for sure. So this first game is the first of 2 legacy games on this list. This is one we've already played a couple of times so far. Clank Legacy Acquisitions Incorporated 2, Darkest Magic.
It is, I forgot how long the title is. It is so good.
It is absolutely blowing us away. We never played the first Clank Legacy game. It is certainly not required, but we have played a lot of Clank in space, and we're huge fans of the franchise. This is a competitive deck building, dungeon crawling kind of game.
Yep.
And it's just a great time, and the legacy elements, oh my gosh, do the changes be coming fast and hard.
Yeah, so let's talk about a legacy game for a second, because we're going to mention that twice in this countdown. A legacy game is where you are playing a game multiple times through a campaign of sorts, so there's a little bit of story that happens, and each time you play it, there is something that you do to alter the game, whether that's putting
permanently.
Whether that's putting a sticker on a game board, whether that's writing something in, adding something to your character, or David's absolute nightmare, which is
destroying game pieces, taking cards and ripping them, cutting them, burning them, however you want to do it, but destroying them
with adult
permanently.
Supervision.
It is, yeah, definitely a nightmare. But it's so much fun. The story is pretty intriguing to us. We're both big fans of RPGs, and it's just a great game.
Yeah.
And there's a reason that we've already got a couple of plays under our belt for this one.
Yep.
And now this one in particular, very well may be the first game that we finish on this list, because I know that we're both really enjoying it and really wanting to play more and more and more of it. And like we said, there's a second legacy game down further on this list, and I know we don't want to start that until we finish this one, just to not be playing through 2 of them at once.
Yeah, for sure. Next game on our list was another one we had picked up right around the time of PAX Unplugged. We were interested in it and almost got it at PAX Unplugged, but we just didn't have enough time to look at it fully, and I regretted it so hard. This is Creature Caravan by Red Raven Games. It is our first Red Raven game, which is such a disappointment, because look at this artwork. It's so cool. Ryan Lockett is the artist and the designer of the game and does an absolutely incredible job. It just makes me want to play more Red Raven games.
Yeah, it's a great time for sure. So Creature Caravan is a dice placement game. It is also a sort of engine tableau building type game. So you're buying these cards that either give you passive bonuses, places to place your dice, and you're just moving throughout this land with your caravan of creatures. And there's just so much going on, but it somehow doesn't feel overwhelming. There's so many different things that you can do with your strategies. And I mean, we both did wildly different things, and it all felt very rewarding.
Yeah, there's definitely different ways you can take it. There's different, obviously the dice are going to roll differently. You're going to draw different cards. So we just see a lot of replayability on this one, which is why it made it onto the challenge.
Yeah, and this is definitely one that, I mean, I know I am certainly excited to play with more than just the 2 of us as well, because it has simultaneous play. So while there can be moments where somebody maybe gets a little bit deep in the tank and thinks a little longer than other folks, everybody sort of rolls their dice and does their stuff at the same time.
Yeah.
So it definitely means that if we play with multiple people, it's not going to add too much game time.
And we have played this once already.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So up next on this list is, funny enough, not the largest box.
I mean, Clank Legacy was pretty big.
Yeah, this is
a thick boy.
Yeah, this is definitely a little bit thicker there. So this is Dice Throne Adventures. So for those who don't know Dice Throne, it is best described, in my opinion, as a competitive battle Yahtzee game. And Dice Throne Adventures is the cooperative dungeon crawling adventure game supplement to that. So it's compatible with all of your Dice Throne products, whether that is your classic original Dice Throne characters or even things like Marvel Dice Throne characters.
Yeah, and they just came out with a X-Men version of the Marvel set, and even that is compatible with this.
Yes. So it's a lot of fun. You use all your same Dice Throne characters, the same Dice Throne mechanics, and it's wonderful because if you already have, quite a few Dice Throne characters like us, if we buy 2 more characters, that adds 2 more characters to play with. But if we get Dice Throne Adventures, it means that we now double the amount of content we get out of Dice Throne.
Yeah, so we can either go head-to-head in Dice Throne, or we can play the campaign and play cooperatively.
Yeah, it's definitely a great time, especially if you're like, ooh, I really want those Yahtzee mechanics, but I'm not in the mood to play something competitive.
Yeah, I'm not in the mood to crush my partner.
Exactly. But definitely recommend that one. If you're a fan of Dice Throne, definitely be looking into the adventures.
She's a big one.
Yeah. This is, for all of our Parks and Rec fans out there, this is our child-sized board game.
Oh, careful.
Yeah.
This is Everdell.
It is the complete collection. We love it.
This is my game, so we're going to scoot across.
Yes.
So let me tell you about how we bought Everdell. We were visiting some friends, and we played Everdell twice with them. We didn't even own the game, and we just fell in love with it so much that when Tabletop Tycoon had announced that they were doing this big box complete collection, you can buy it all.
Yep, all the expansions, all the premium meeples, all the fancy, resource holders, the wooden Evertree, everything.
We were like, why not?
And we did.
So that's how we got this bad boy. Everdell, at its core, is a just cozy tableau building game where you are collecting cards, you're playing them, and you're building your own city that helps you generate resources and points down the line. This is a fantastic game. It's been out for a while. It's been revered for a while, and it has been our favorite game for a while.
Yeah,
it still is. Everything about it is just so great. And the reason why it's on this challenge is because we've been playing a lot of new games lately. We've been, adding to our collection, wanting to prioritize kind of seeing some new stuff that we don't normally play. And we haven't played this. I don't even know if we played this in 2024.
I think we played it early in the year.
Yeah.
Maybe like once, maybe twice, though.
And I miss her.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of expansions that are in this complete collection. I think for this challenge, we are going to be able to mix and match those. So I really want to revisit all of those expansions. I know we've played some of them only once, some of them a couple times, but this could be a good opportunity for us to really kind of explore the breadth of Everdell.
Yeah, for sure. There's definitely a lot there. There's a lot of content. I know we've played, I think, only once with the Player Powers expansion that there was.
Yeah.
Or Player Powers part of one of the expansions. So definitely excited to see a lot more of those. And it's just such a great game. We love it. And, part of this challenge is definitely making sure that we hold ourselves to playing not only just games that we want to fully experience, but games that we truly, truly love that we have not been giving enough time and attention to.
Yeah.
All right, so now that we're done with Everdell Duo.
Jamie and David, why do you have 2 of the same game on this challenge?
Yeah. So, Everdell is a phenomenal game at 2 players.
Mhm.
We prefer playing it with just the 2 of us as opposed to with larger player counts.
Yeah.
And so that might make it seem strange then that we got Everdell Duo. And first of all, anything they make, I'm going to buy immediately.
Yeah.
Jamie found out that this was on Kickstarter by me saying, hey, look what I backed on Kickstarter.
Yeah, we've already backed the next game in the Everdell line in the Beyond the Map series called Everdell Silver Frost.
Yes,
very
pumped.
excited.
Yeah, so Everdell Duo, it is specifically made for 2 players, as the name implies. And while there is a competitive 1 versus 1 mode that we'll explain a little bit about, the main reason it's on this challenge is it has a cooperative campaign-based game mode.
Yes.
We really want to experience that and see what it's like.
Yes. What we really love about this game is that, what I personally love about this game the most is that the system in Everdell was tightened up here and it was given a time clock. So when you're playing base game Everdell, you're playing at your own pace. Just because you move on to a different phase of the game doesn't mean that your opponent has to move on just yet. Everybody plays at their own pace, and the competitive part is really just comparing points at the end. In Everdell Duo, there is a set number of actions in each season or round, if you will. So the competitive nature is playing the actions you want to play as quickly as you can, because David could do the same thing 3 times in a row, and all of a sudden I can't do it anymore.
Exactly.
So
yeah, it definitely adds not a ton more interaction. It's still, I mean, there's not some little sniper animal that attacks your opponent's city. Like, it's still relaxed, cozy Everdell, but there's just a little bit more of a sort of interactive strategy element of, okay, which actions do I take and when?
Yeah.
And it, yeah, like you said, it really just tightens it up for 2 players. We still definitely think Everdell is worth playing at 2 players, obviously.
Yeah.
But this is just a different experience.
Yep, and we got a campaign to get through.
Yep.
So one of the things we love about Everdell is the cozy artwork within the games. It just really transports you. And you get to play these games with these adorable little critters. And we attribute that to the work of the artist Andrew Bosley, who we are a really big fan of, and who is the artist of our next game, which is Flock Together.
So adorable.
We actually got to meet Andrew Bosley when we picked this game up at PAX Unplugged. He was delightful. Talked to him a little bit about how much we love Everdell, and he signed the game for us, and also got Matt Mundy, the designer, to sign the game as well. And I mean, it just look at it. Yeah, it's chickens.
Yeah, it's battle chickens defending their coop from predators. It's amazing.
Yeah, so you become these like chicken warriors that all have these hilarious names, like Annie Oakley, Cluckleberry Finn, Agatha Christie. And you're battling against these predators, like a snake named Esmeralda or a possum named Salmonella. And you can level up. Your predators can also level up as well. Yeah. So it becomes kind of tricky.
Yeah, for sure. When we first played it, we were playing through kind of like the first little season as it went. And we were like, this is so easy. We're crushing these villains. We have got this. And then the game started ramping up quick.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
I can imagine this is probably an easier play at more players. But I still think it was really great at 2 players. And there are so many different chickens you can play as, and there are so many different predators you can play with. Yeah. Which just makes this game replayable like there's no tomorrow, and an obvious choice for this challenge.
Yeah, for sure. Like, even if Jamie and I, pick a different chicken every single time, which I think we both plan to, we're not even going to have each tried every chicken. There's more than 10 in the game.
Yeah.
So not to mention all the different combinations of chickens. This is one that's going to be seeing a lot of time at our table.
Yeah. We have already played it once, but we will play it 9 more times.
Yes, at least. And I know we're definitely, like you said, excited to try it with multiple players as well. Or
Mm-hmm.
more players. I mean, we played it with multiple as 2, but more players.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, get ready for the game that David will scream from the rooftops.
Yes. For those that have watched our videos on our top games of 2024, this next one is going to be no surprise whatsoever that I absolutely insisted must be on our 10 by 10 challenge. This quickly became one of my top games of all time, really. It's such a great game. It's so much fun. It's so underrated. Is Life in Reterra.
Such a good game.
It is. It's so clean. This is they call it a community rebuilding game. So you're playing in a post-apocalyptic setting, but it certainly doesn't feel like it. It's not dark and dreary and doom and gloom. It is a very uplifting, kind of happy, I describe it as kind of like a solar punk feel to it. And, you're just trying to build up a community by placing these little tiles of different terrain, trying to arrange the gears on them so that you can build buildings that all have different effects that can either make your community better, make neighboring communities worse, and just trying to score the most points.
Yeah, and there's a lot of variability in the game, too. So with the buildings that you can build, there are different sets of them that you can mix and match throughout your game. And then on top of that, the cards that tell you what the building's bonuses are have 2 sides. So in one game, a farm can do one thing and do an entirely different thing on the next game if you flip over the card. So we did the math, and there's like 86,400 or 500 different ways that you could play this game. Yeah,
it's a lot. So there's so much, replay value to it. Highly recommend.
Yeah.
It's also just so cheap. I mean, we've only seen it at Target. I don't think it's exclusive to Target because it doesn't say it anywhere.
No.
But it certainly is available there, and it's $30 when it's full price, which is already a steal for how great it is. And it goes on sale all the time.
Yeah, and the way it stores in the box is really, really good, too. It's one of the best storage systems I've ever seen.
Yeah, you could literally, we do it in one of our videos. You can shake it as much and as hard as you want, and nothing moves at all.
Yeah, so Life in Reterra. Pick it up. Yes. So we mentioned at the beginning of this challenge that we were playing through a legacy game and that we probably don't want to start another legacy game until we're done with that first one. This is that legacy game we were referring to. And you can tell we haven't started her yet.
Yeah.
This is my city. She's still in the shrink wrap. She's still got that discount sticker on her. This is a city building game, and it's a legacy game, and that's pretty much all we know about it. So you'll get different envelopes as you move throughout the different chapters to do different things to the game. This is by Reiner Knizia, which this is our first Reiner Knizia game, which is very exciting. And it was such a find at Barnes & Noble. And I think it's because my island is out. So they were pushing out the My Cities to bring in the My Islands. But, just a good find for us.
Yeah. Yeah. And, we've heard nothing but great things about My City. Of course, everyone has nothing but praise for Reiner Knizia's games. So it's definitely one that we've been excited for. And just like Clank and a lot of the other games on this list, this is one where we thought, even though we haven't played it yet, let's take a gamble, let's put it on the list, because especially this type of game, if we only play this twice, we haven't even really played it, right? A legacy game is sort of the totality of the experience. So very excited for that.
Ooh, last 2.
Yes. So this next one is another one that was on my top games of 2024.
Yeah, I think Reterra was number 3, and this is your number 2.
Yeah, I think so. So this is The Search for Lost Species. This is such a great game. It is definitely number 1 on our list of games we're not going to play with our friends because it's definitely our type of thing and not so much theirs, and it's very headache-inducing.
Yeah, on their first play, it breaks your brain.
Yeah. But it's so much fun. So for anybody who loves kind of those grid logic puzzles, and Jamie can put an image of one right here or something, just in case you don't know what we're talking about.
You're just giving more work for poor editing Jamie.
So if you like those kinds of games, those little puzzles, this is basically that in board game form. You play as researchers traveling over an island trying to find the lost species. And all the different types of animals on the island all have different rules for, where they can be. Certain ones can only be with certain other ones, or they can't be with other ones or near other ones. And you're just sort of trying to use logic and deduction to figure out where the lost species might be. And you then tally up points based on how correct your guesses are.
Yeah. This is kind of a duo or a foil, if you will, to The Search for Planet X, also by Renegade Games. And the difference between those is obviously the theme and the fact that Search for Lost Species uses a phone, uses an app, phone, iPad, whatever you want to use. And Planet X doesn't, but everything that we saw said pick the theme that you like. They both have different mechanics that make them better or worse, but pick the theme that you like. This was the one, and we really liked it. If you are afraid to play this game because it's an app game, don't be. There is enough here that it is a board game for sure.
Yeah.
And the phone really just helps you kind of move along the story without having to keep track of a million papers.
Yeah. We're not sure how the Search for Planet X works mechanically, but the app it just makes it really smooth so that you can say, like, I'm going to look at this, and it just like tells you what that is, as opposed to you having to like, oh no, I flipped over the wrong card and now I know information I'm not supposed to, or something.
Yeah.
Or however Search for Planet X works. And I mean, if you couldn't tell by this list, we love animals. That's definitely our vibes.
Yeah, we're not the space people. We're the aminals people.
Yeah, like we have not left the ground one time on this list of board games.
Except for this next one. Yeah, Sky Team. I didn't think I would like this game. And then it ended up on my top 10 for 2024, which I think is so funny. There are two reasons for that, really, is because I was told that this game was limited communication and it was very stressful. And I was like, see ya, partner. That's two reasons. I'm out. But it got so much praise and I was like, fine, we'll try it. And I realized that the reason why I was shying away from it is because the first no communication game I played was The Mind, and I will go down in history on the fact that I am The Mind's #1 hater. But this is not The Mind. You can talk in this game.
Yeah.
You can do some strategizing, and it has one of my favorite mechanics. My favorite mechanic probably is dice placement. So you're playing as a pilot and a co-pilot, and you have to do different things in order to land the plane. Some of those tasks you work together on. Some of those tasks you are responsible for. And it seems simple-ish, but there's a lot of complexity to it, and there's a lot of variability to it because there's different missions that you can do that are going to add different things to the game.
Yeah, it's a great time, honestly. It definitely deserves all the praise that it gets. It plays very tight. And, it's certainly one of those things where, it's dice, there's some randomness to it, but there are enough things to sort of mitigate that randomness and kind of alter what you do.
Yeah.
That I would wager to say that, almost never do you like roll the dice and it's like, oh, actually we can't win.
Yeah, we lose because our rolls have been so bad.
Yeah.
I wouldn't call this a push your luck game by any means.
No.
There's a lot of strategy in it, and there's ways that you can gain things to help you later on.
Yeah, it's phenomenal.
And with that, all of our little plates are on our little board. We forgot to mention that we picked this board up from Vegas Geek 3D on Etsy. And I have to say, all of these plates that came with it are just incredible. I'm going to put a close-up of all of them, the detail. We did not pick from a catalog of plates. We gave the list to Vegas Geek 3D, and they were like, bet, here are all of your custom, beautiful plates. And not only did we purchase this board, but we also purchased this cute little holder.
Yep, the giant meeple for our little baby meeples.
Yeah, I don't know if you can see without it spilling out.
It's very full.
It's very, very full. It holds 100, and that's it. But I mean, how How adorable is that?
It's so cute.
It's going right on top of the game shelf, friends.
Yep.
And we will keep this going and keep you guys updated as we do monthly updates on how it's going and finish by the end of 2025.
Yeah, for sure. So stay tuned. I imagine this probably won't get released until February. So stay tuned for, our first update on how this is going at the end of this month in February. And
until then, bye.
Bye.